Yay Networks.
13 has been my lucky number for a while. Like, it's always a sign of good things to come for me.
This is 13, a Taylor Swift fan podcast, breaking down every song, every Easter egg, every era, and every theory. Hosted by the biggest Swifties, Nick Adams, Anna Cassiejos, Amy Nichols, and Lacey G.
Welcome to 13, a Taylor Swift fan podcast. My name's Nick Adams.
I'm Anna.
Amy.
And I'm Lacey G.
And today we are going to be breaking down would've, could've, should've. This is a tough song.
Yeah.
This is a deep song. It's an emotional song. Once again, her songwriting is just, she's at her A game right now with some of these lyrics. This is the 19th track on Midnight's, the 3 a.m. edition. It was written by Taylor Swift and Aaron Dessner. And Aaron Dessner really brings out that kind of like haunting, super deep side of Taylor, I feel like, because you can definitely tell when it's a Jack Antonoff song, when it's an Aaron Dessner song.
Yeah.
And, you know, the 3 a.m. edition is all Aaron Dessner, and so it's just really cool to see kind of the differences in the two different parts of the album. And, man, this one packs a punch.
Yeah.
Well, this was the 3 a.m. edition, but like you said, it's track 19, which is how old she was whenever everything with John Mayer went down. So even that was intentional.
Yeah.
Shots fired by being track 19 on the album.
And something that's so interesting, especially as we talk about all of the Midnight's songs and the 3 a.m. editions, I feel like, you know, the whole concept of Midnight's is that she wrote it. It's, you know, sleepless nights throughout her life. And then we have the 3 a.m. songs. We're like, are these technically vault songs? Like, it kind of, the timeline kind of gets confusing on when Taylor wrote certain songs. But recently, Aaron revealed that Would've, Could've, Should've was written back in 2021. That they wrote this song together the weekend, Grammys weekend, when Folklore won.
Yeah, how cool.
And John Mayer performed at that Grammys show. So, you know, did it stir up some old feelings? So, like, it triggered something. She's like, I need to just get into the studio, get my feelings out. But regardless, they held on to this song for a good amount of time before they just, because they could have, I guess, no, I was about to say they could have put it on Evermore, but I guess not.
Because it's personal, and this Evermore's more of the fantasy.
Yeah, and I think Evermore was already out by then, no?
Ooh.
Yeah, it would have been.
I think Evermore was already out by then. But yeah, I mean, regardless, she wrote the song and just like held on to it, and then didn't even put it on the standard Midnight's tracks, but the 3 a.m. tracks. So
That's shocking to me. Why is this not an original track to this album?
Yeah, I don't know.
I think it's top 5 for me. And I there's a lot of fabulous songs that she's written, obviously, but this is really moved up, like
deep,
shot up so high.
You know, I remember listening, we did our live listening party on social media and stuff. We were drinking and everything. Then the 3 a.m. tracks dropped and we were drunk. And then we like went back to listen. And then we started listening to these kind of slower songs and stuff. Like, whoa.
We were like, whoa.
And, you know, a lot of Taylor's songs, she writes in a way to where it's not always completely obvious who she's talking about. It's a little vague at times and stuff like that. But when it comes to John Mayer, she wrote a song called Dear John. And then some of the lyrics in this, it's just like, you know, I don't know what Jake Gyllenhaal did, but whatever John Mayer did seems to have affected her even more, almost, you know, because there's All Too Well, which is just a heartbreaking ballad. And then there's like Would've, Could've, Should've, and Dear John. It's just like, man, he did a number on her.
I think it's just more personal.
Yeah.
More trauma in the sense that, well, A, she was younger when she dated John Mayer than when she dated Jake Gyllenhaal. And I think, you know, Jake Gyllenhaal, breakup, relationship, that kind of thing. But I think with John Mayer,
It was an actual mind game. Like, I don't know. It does seem more intense.
We obviously cannot say for facts because we don't know. We only know the lyrics that she's given us, and we only have our interpretations. Like, we don't know for sure anything except for their ages. Like that, yes, we know that. But like, we can't say on the record, oh, this is what he did, you know, but we can.
I can speak for me personally. There are people that I could live without, and there are people that I would absolutely burn. And I think John Mayer is obviously that person that can't be forgiven. It was that bad. It cannot be forgiven. There's no coming back. And I've only got a couple of people on my list like that. Yeah. But you have to have screwed me over, and there's no coming back from this. And that's how it is with John. And you were saying that she started writing this while he was winning an award or at an award show. They have their own history with awards.
Yeah.
Because I mean, he presented her with the Songwriters Award and acted like everything was okay. And then they were broken up by the CMA Awards. And that's why she might have written Story of Us about their awkward encounter at the awards show, having to act like everything's okay and it's not. And she's so young and doesn't even know how to deal with her emotions and having to put on such a public front like that.
Yeah, so she was 19, he was 32 whenever they first dated. And when she wrote this song, she was 31, meaning that she was basically his age, looking back on what happened to her when she wrote it's just it's crazy. And like whenever we get into when we go lyric by lyric, I feel like there's a couple of parallels to Dear John and also some growth and like different points of view. But I do think that this description that I found online, it's just like one sentence description of the song, but it says Taylor uses morbid and religious overtones to express regret over a youthful relationship that left her deeply scarred. Pretty much a description of the song.
Yeah.
Not only that, there's a very specific reason why she's referencing the stained glass. And Jenny, Thrifty Swifty, explained it on TikTok.
This is a condo building called the Abbey in Gramercy Park in New York City. The building is currently condo apartments, but as you can clearly see, at one point this was a church parish. Many of the apartments have original features from that church, including stained glass windows, stone arches, and decorative flooring. You know who lived here in the 2010s? John Mayer.
I finally found the most unique luxury apartment in Gramercy for rent or for sale, and while it may come to no surprise to you that this once was a church, John Mayer and Jessica Simpson purchased in the building in the early 2000s.
So when John Mayer was a 32-year-old man pursuing a relationship with the 19-year-old Taylor Swift, he lived in a church. So to me, this makes would've, could've, should've make even more sense than it already did. Stained glass windows in my mind, I regret you all the time.
So while this is happening, she's literally looking out through stained glass windows. And so she's using that because, I mean, it is like stealing her religion from her, but also you're putting your trust in somebody and you're looking out these windows. I mean, how creepy is that for all that to come together?
Yeah. Wow.
This episode is brought to you by BetterHelp. How much time do you spend on yourself in a given week versus how much time you spend on other people? Do you balance the two? Are you taking care of yourself, or are you just busy investing your time and energy into other people? It's important to remember to take care of yourself and self-care and self-help. And that's why we think it's a really good idea to talk to our friends at BetterHelp.
I love BetterHelp because you can get the therapy and the help that you need where you need it. You can be at your home. You can be on vacation. You can be in the back of an Uber if you want to be getting your therapy on. You can do it wherever you want. It's convenient. And I love that about it because you can get the help when you need the help and where you need the help. It's so convenient.
So if you're thinking of starting therapy, give BetterHelp a try. It's entirely online. It's designed to be convenient, flexible, and suited to your schedule. You just fill out a brief questionnaire, and then you get matched with a licensed therapist. And you can switch at any time for no additional charge. I've done that just because sometimes you just need to make sure that you're talking to the right person for you.
Find more balance with BetterHelp. Visit BetterHelp.com/Taylor Swift fan today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/Taylor Swift fan.
So do we want to get into how this even happened? Let's just start. 2009, John first reached out to Taylor on Twitter saying he wanted her to sing, waking up to this song that wouldn't leave my head for 3 days straight. That means it's good enough to finish. It's called Half My Heart, and I want to sing it with Taylor Swift. She would make a killer Stevie Nicks in concert, or in contrast to my Tom Petty of a song. And Taylor had just released her second album and was starstruck, like, oh, look at this big dude who wants to work with me. She told Ellen, I freaked out when I heard because I'm such a fan of John for such a long time. I'm really excited about just the idea that he would even mention me on Twitter.
I think something important to note, though, and like we know the story now and the timeline and everything, but at the time, whenever they were dating, the media narrative basically painted Taylor as like the villain, saying that she was this young, starstruck, oh my God, he's a rock star. She keeps pursuing him. The age difference is inappropriate, but she's the one at fault. Like that was like the media narrative at the time that this was all happening. And I think that's just important to note because in the song, she like really takes charge of that narrative.
Right, and the name of the song, would have, could have, and should have. This is language that's used in pop culture to place blame on women. Like they should have dressed differently, if they were sexually assaulted or whatever. It's their fault because they brought it on themselves.
Right. I think it's also very interesting to note that while the title of the song is would have, could have, should have, she only actually says would have and could have in the song because she left the should have in Dear John, where she says, I should have known. So basically, in Dear John, she thought that she was to blame because that was what everybody was probably telling her, and she sings about the things that she should have known. But now she's older, and she knows that he's the one that's to blame, so she basically only sings about what she would have and could have done differently, but she's done blaming herself.
Yeah.
So that in itself is just a lot of growth also.
Love it.
Oh, my God.
It's just sick to look at the timeline that they're dating, they're not. He's keeping up the facade just for public celebrity status, whatever. And then the jabs that he's taken throughout the years, the fact that he's so butthurt about it and still has a reputation, was trying to drop like reputation hints and stuff at a concert, and people are like, we know what you're doing, dude. You're sitting here, she just released an album, Reputation, and now you're making Reputation references. Like, we don't know what you're doing. You're still crapping on this girl.
He's still doing that now. Like, the weekend that the Eras tour kicked off, he played Half of My Heart like at his show, and it was so annoying because he only did that for like attention, publicity of his own, because then it'd be like get people talking about it, like, oh, he played this Taylor Swift song, and it's like, I saw that. I did not click any article. I did not watch any video because I was like, I'm not going to, like, that. It was so annoying that he's just still using her name for clout. Like,
well, he did this year, April 2023. After Taylor and Joe reports that they broke up, he played Paper Doll, which is the song he wrote in response. And he said, he called the song a little bitchy and said of the song's bad reputation, I wonder if people don't like it because it sounds a little pissed off. I really don't like Pissed Off. As a song, I think it was more hurt, but I think there might be something about it that's just a little bitchy. I try to not get bitchiness in the song, but it happens sometimes. So he's still like, ugh. But like you said, just capitalizing on their breakup. Why else would you have to say that?
And it's so annoying because she can sing about it and everybody's like, oh my God, why is she not over it? And then he does it for publicity, and it's like, oh God, I'm just so over it.
But what I do find funny just a little bit, like, think about how, if we're talking about recent years and things, a lot of times we'd say like, we had these plans and then 2020 happened and then that kind of stopped everything. For John Mayer, I feel like it's then 2022 happened, because that's whenever Midnight's 3 a.m. edition came out. People's been going for him ever since, and he's getting bombarded with scrutiny. But I mean, he doesn't care because he's a jackass. I honestly, I don't feel like he cares in the least bit. But the most boss thing that Taylor did, one of my favorite petty moves ever, was whenever John Mayer announced that he was going on a world tour this year. And she gave him 15 whole minutes and then tweeted, dropping Lavender Haze music video tonight.
Yeah.
And the world no longer cared about John Mayer's world tour.
This show is sponsored by Liquid IV. You know, summer has officially started in my house when my kids are in full sports mode. We are outside constantly. Baseball games, practices, tournaments, running from one field to the next in the heat. And if you've ever sat through a doubleheader in the middle of the summer, then you know that staying hydrated is not optional. That's why I always throw in a few sticks of Liquid IV's Hydration Multiplier in my bag. I'm obsessed with the pina colada flavor right now, and it really just tastes like summer in a cup. Just tear it open, pour it into 16 ounces of water, and it hydrates faster than water alone. It's powered by Live Hydroscience with an optimized ratio of electrolytes, essential vitamins, and clinically tested nutrients. Plus, Liquid IV has 3 times the electrolytes of the leading sports drink and includes 8 vitamins and nutrients in every stick. It's also non-GMO, vegan, gluten-free, dairy-free, and soy-free. Stay hydrated while you're on the go this summer with Liquid IV. Tear, pour, live more.
Go to liquidiv.com and get 20% off your first purchase with code TaylorSwiftFan at checkout. That's 20% off your first purchase with code TaylorSwiftFan at liquidiv.com.
Warmer, sunnier days are calling, and you can fuel up for them with Factor's no prep, no mess meals. Meet your wellness goals in time for summer thanks to the menu of chef-crafted meals with options like Calorie Smart, Protein Plus, and Keto. Factor's fresh, never frozen meals are dietitian approved and ready to eat in just 2 minutes. So if you only have a few minutes between meetings during the day, or you get home and you're just so hungry but you have no time to cook, Factor is where you should go. They have 35 different meals and more than 60 add-ons to choose from every week, and you'll always have new flavors to explore. You can crush your wellness goals this May with dietitian approved meals and ingredients that you can trust. And these are delicious. From breakfast to dessert, you can stay fueled with easy, nutritious options. And you can keep kitchen time to a minimum. Factor meals are ready in 2 minutes, so no shopping, prepping, cooking, or cleaning up. Enjoy effortless support for your lifestyle. Head to factormeals.com/TaylorSwiftFan50 and use code TaylorSwiftFan50 to get 50% off your first box plus 20% off your next month. That's code TaylorSwiftFan50 at factormeals.com/TaylorSwiftFan50 to get 50% off your first box plus 20% off your next month while your subscription is active.
All right, let's look at some of these lyrics, shall we?
Yes.
She starts off by saying, if you would have blinked, then I would have looked away at the first glance.
Oh, man, right off the bat.
Mm-hmm.
Right off the bat. But see, that's what I'm saying. Like, at the time that they were dating, the whole narrative was that she was pursuing him. That's what the media was feeding everybody. But right here, if you would have blinked, then I would have looked away at the first glance. Like, that's suggesting that he was pursuing her.
Right.
Right? So it's like, from the first get-go, she's like, let me tell you what actually happened.
Mm. And predatory men usually make the first move. She wasn't seeking out for this relationship.
Exactly.
If you tasted poison, you could have spit me out at the first chance. If I was some paint, did it splatter on a promising grown man?
Wait a second on that line. If I was some paint, did it splatter on a promising grown man? She's just calling it out for what it is. And if I was a child, did it matter if you got to wash your hands? Because he did get off totally scot-free, which what they were doing is legal. That is legal age. So, I mean, we're not saying that, but that doesn't justify that it's right or that someone is fully developed or in their right kind of mind or getting, I mean, this is Me Too before Me Too. This is a strong older person that you trust and think that has your best interest and ends up they don't.
I think it's also interesting how she said promising grown man because that's also promising young man is language that the media uses when they try to basically defend predators when they're young. You know, like this guy did something absolutely terrible. Oh, but he's a promising young man.
Well, their future is more important than the damage they did to the woman.
So by her saying promising grown man, it's taking that language, but then also saying, no, you were grown as hell. You were 32 years old.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then like Lacey's saying, the next line, if I was a child, did it matter if you got to wash your hands? Like, he's coming off clean from this. He got to wash his hands and be done with it. No big deal. Move on. It's not going to affect him too much. But for her, you know, at that time, he's way more powerful than her in the industry. And she's now burdened with this relationship. It's, oh, now she's being petty and she's just writing another breakup song like Dear John.
No,
she's not allowed to move on, but he can.
Right.
I do want to say before we move on from those lyrics, if you tasted poison, you could have spit me out the first chance. That's the first part of the song that has a religious allusion. The forbidden fruit. Eve was the one who it was all her fault. She bit the fruit and gave it to Adam. So this is the setting the tone for the religious stuff.
I didn't catch that, but then I did.
Wow.
I did learn in my research, and forgive me because I myself am not a super religious person, but the phrase "to wash your hands of" is a common idiom in the English language, meaning basically to not be held accountable or to be innocent of. But the origins of this meaning come from the New Testament of the Bible. Did y'all know that? Because I did not. So when the crowd condemns Jesus Christ to death, Pilate washes his hands to symbolize that he's innocent and cannot be held accountable for his own actions. So that's where the phrase like "to wash your hands of" comes from originally. So that in itself is also a religious reference, which was news to me.
Yeah.
And boy, these next couple lines, they're pretty deep. All I used to do was pray, would've, could've, should've, if you'd never looked my way. Dang. Like if you never even looked at me, my life would have been so much better.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
just life-changing. To get burned that hard.
Yeah.
She lost her faith.
Yeah. I would have stayed on my knees. I damn sure would have never danced with the devil at 19.
And not necessarily faith in religion. I mean, it could be like a metaphor for faith in the world. Like
And men,
good
yeah.
people.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, her own innocence.
Yeah.
Like she lost, I mean, her girlhood, which we'll get into that later. But yeah. And then you have it again. I would have stayed on my knees. I imagine that is like praying, right? Or like even like, I don't know, I don't want to say begging because that's not, I mean, people do beg on their knees. But I think in this case,
Well, I mean,
would have
think
been
about
like a praying.
scenes like a war movie or something. You get stabbed in the gut and they fall to their knees. Like, this is trauma. You've been stabbed in the gut and you're just falling.
It's kind of like being subservient. You're on your knees. You're almost bowing down to the person who's better than you, who's controlling this relationship. I might assume she might be talking about. She would have stayed on her knees. She would have been subservient to him and to his needs.
Yeah.
And she calls him the devil. I never would have danced with the devil.
Yeah.
And then again, an obvious line that references what time this is in her life. She's 19, at 19.
Yeah.
She's telling us specifically, this is where I was and who I was with at 19.
At 19. And that's when we all like, I mean, as fans of Taylor, we know what happened when she was 19. And so hearing that, we immediately like, it clicks. We're like, oh shit. But I also think not only is she straight up just calling him the devil, but I think it also plays onto the theme of temptation. Like he tempted her, she sinned, she wishes she would have done things differently. He gets to walk away, but she doesn't.
And the pain was heaven because you kind of like it. You kind of like the pain. And now she feels ashamed because she sees how messed up it was now that she is an adult writing back about her experiences at 19. Yeah. To be in that adult mind frame and to look back at 19, I think that's the most startling part of this song is that she knows what frame of mind she's in and she knows what frame of mind 19-year-olds are in and how wrong that was and how she can sit up as an adult now, even though she was a year younger than John Mayer, still knowing like she couldn't be with a 19-year-old. There's 0% chance she would be her age with a 19-year-old, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and she sings all about this trauma, like you're talking about, Lacey, about how looking back on it, man, this was really difficult, and it still is. God's honest truth is that the pain was heaven, and now that I'm grown, I'm scared of ghosts. Memories feel like weapons, and now that I know, I wish you would have left me wondering. So once again, she's saying, I wish you never came into my life. I wish you just could have been that guy I thought was cute for a little bit that I see every now and then at, industry parties.
Yeah.
Misheard lyric, at first, whenever it says, and now that I'm grown, I'm scared of ghosts, I thought it was, I'm scared of growth, which could also fit there too.
Could have, yeah. Would have, should have. To go back to the pain was heaven part, I mean, she does preface it by saying the God honest truth is that the pain was heaven. And it's like that, it is a brutal thing to just admit, that the pain was heaven, that, I mean, at the time that she felt good and whatever, like, all the pain that she was being
you thought
caused,
it was
but
girls want the bad boy. They want the boy that's unavailable sometimes.
I think it's also very common for women to feel like they can change a man. So he already had this reputation of being a serial dater, this like rock star like type of guy or whatever, and being so young, innocent, and naive, you think like, well, he's clearly into me and I can change him into being a better person, but that's not what happened, And then when she goes on to say, I wish you'd left me wondering, I do feel like even though she's expressing a lot of regret in the song, she is blaming him by saying, like, I wish you'd left me wondering. Instead of in Dear John, when she says, I should have known. So that's just a lot of power for her.
And if you never touched me, I would have gone along with the righteous. If I never blushed, then you would have never whispered about this. And if you never saved me from boredom, I could have gone on as it was. But Lord, you make me feel important, and then you try to erase us.
Okay.
So there's a lot there.
Yeah.
Just one little line. If you never saved me from boredom, I could also see that line somewhere in Great American Dynasty, because if you remember, Rebecca Harkness one time got married because she was bored. So, I mean, I've definitely done stuff out of boredom. So I just thought that was kind of a catchy line.
I wonder if that is something that he had, like, said to her. Like, oh, you're young, you haven't experienced fun things like I have. I can show you how to be wild, or I can show, you know what I mean? Like, kind of use that as not leverage, but a way to kind of manipulate, draw her in and stuff, and be like, I can show you fun things,
Yeah,
and
and also I think this is kind of speaks to how he was just, his career was just massive at that time. And she's been dating the younger guys that are around her age. She's dating Taylor Lautner, and she's dating Joe Jonas, and now she's dating this superstar who's much older than her, who is going to the big time, quote unquote, like adult parties and things like that. So like he's showing her a crazy good time, a completely different, a new world that she may not have been in to that point.
Yeah, and it is that, and then it does show that manipulation and like, Lord, you made me feel important, and then you tried to erase us. I mean, he grooms her, he makes her feel important, and then when he's done, he can just pretend like it never happened.
Yeah, he gets what he wants.
That is just like textbook,
narcissist.
Yeah.
You're a crisis of my faith, would've, could've, should've, if I'd only played it safe.
So the crisis being like basically choosing to dance with the devil? Is that what she means?
You're a crisis of my faith.
Or like you were saying earlier, Amy, she just like lost her faith in multiple things.
Yeah, she's lost her faith. She's not sure what she believes anymore. She's so scarred by what happened. It's just completely rocked her world, and down is up and up is down, and you don't really know what to make of things because everything's changed. I'm so hurt. I'm so torn apart by what's happened. And then she goes on to sing again, I would have stayed on my knees, and I damn sure never would have danced with the devil at 19. And she sings about memories feel like weapons, and now that I know, I wish you'd left me wondering.
And then
oh my gosh. This is so good.
And then
the bridge.
Which, oh my God. Summer is right around the corner, and we love to have fun, but we're all really well aware that it can get expensive. And when you have financial goals, you need to decide what's worth it. A Chime checking account helps you reach your financial goals while still enjoying your summer. Are you traveling at all this summer? Maybe to hit up another Eras tour date? And look, sometimes you know that you don't mean to overdraft, but it just happens when things start to add up. And Chime allows you to overdraft up to $200 with no fees, which at times can be a total game changer. You can set up your direct deposit with your Chime account, and you'll be notified to enroll in SpotMe. Live it up this summer and make progress towards your financial goals with Chime. Open your bank account in minutes at chime.com/Taylor Swift fan. That's chime.com/Taylor Swift fan. Chime feels like progress. Banking services and debit card provided by the Bancorp Bank N.A. or Stride Bank N.A. members. FDIC. SpotMe eligibility requirements and overdraft limits apply. Boosts are available to eligible Chime members enrolled in SpotMe and are subject to monthly limits. Terms and conditions apply. Go to chime.com/disclosures for details.
God rest my soul. I miss who I used to be.
I miss who I used to be. She has carried this trauma for years, and clearly she misses her innocence. I miss who I used to be. And I also think this is so, so, so strong because a lot of times when these situations happen and people feel trauma, a lot of response is like, well, it's been years, get over it.
Right.
And that's not right, and that's not, people don't just get over things. And I think by her retouching on this as she is now, as she's older, and saying like, God rest my soul, I miss who I used to be, I think it also gives other people who have been in similar situations that also kind of peace and comfort of like, okay, I also still feel traumatized, and that's like, I'm not alone in that.
Yes, I completely agree, because sometimes you don't realize stuff in the moment, and it takes time to be able to realize what happened. And people want to say like, oh, she's not over these people because she's still writing about them. No. Someone wrote it very well on Reddit and said, I want to teach you how forever feels like. They said, 19-year-old heartbroken Taylor writes in her journal, one day I'll write a song about this experience, but I can't right now. It's too raw. Then she wakes up one day and writes Dear John and thinks it's out of her system. As she matures, she realizes how fucked up this situation was and writes in her journal, one day, even if no one is listening to me anymore, I'll write a song when I'm 32 about this situation because I want to see if there's any way I can relate to John. Years pass. Me Too happens. Her sexual assault trial occurs. Literally, so many fucked up narratives come out, and this woman as a whole is constantly attacked. She's happy. She's happier than ever, but that doesn't mean she's not a woman during this ridiculous time. She turns 32 and she is horrified. She has to write. She needs to write. Not to get it out of her system, but because this world needs to be a better place. And if men and women listen to this song and realize how messed up power dynamics are in a relationship, how much better we are for society. She's in the middle of Midnights and has this brilliant idea of releasing vault tracks. And while this song was on her album in the beginning, she decided to do it differently and make it a vault track, or make it a 3 a.m. track, so she can list it as the 19th track, just in case people need a reminder.
Oof.
That's really well said, because, and I mean, even this next line, she's singing.
Oh, hold on. I'm sorry. I left off the best line. I'm sorry. I just scrolled down a little bit. I'm so sorry, Nick. Here's the best line. She's not getting over a guy. She's a world-dominating patriarchy-ending mastermind. That was worth it. That was worth it.
That was worth it, yeah.
Okay, sorry.
But yeah, she's singing how, I think if nothing's ever happened to you, it's really easy to say, just move on. Who cares? It was just one relationship. Get over it. It's been X number of years. But she sings here, the tomb won't close. I can't move on. Stained glass windows in my mind. And then, just one of the most heartbreaking lines she's ever written. I regret you all the time.
Oh, how many times have you yelled that lyric at?
And that is just like as straightforward as she can be.
I regret you all the time.
I regret you all. She should have said all the fucking time. Just kidding.
And
she doesn't need to. I regret you all the time.
In this next line, you can tell how hurt she still is by what happened between them. I can't let this go. I fight with you in my sleep. She can never get away from the memories of what happened. The wound won't close. I keep on waiting for a sign. I regret you all the time.
All the time.
And then again, she sings about her innocence. God rest my soul. I miss who I used to be. The tomb won't close. Stained glass windows in my mind. I regret you all the time. Oof.
Goodness. So if clarity's in death, then why won't this die? Clarity's in death refers to the phenomenon of clarity and the answers to life in those very, very, very short moments right before you die. People talk about like seeing the light at the end of the tunnel, things like that. And there's like all these stories. You can believe what you want, believe what you don't want. But there's like, just the overall stories of people saying like, yeah, I died and came back to life. And suddenly, I know all the rights and the wrongs and everything like that. So if clarity's in death, if she's already seen the situation with clarity, she already understands what happens. Why is she still hurting?
Why is she still haunted
by this? Why won't this just die? Oh my God, the absolute just frustration with that. It hurts.
Years of tearing down our banners, you and I. Then this line, living for the thrill of hitting you where it hurts.
Oh yeah,
That's making an announcement 15 minutes after a world tour announcement. That's what that is. I'm going to hit you where it hurts. Give me back my girlhood. It was mine first.
Damn. He took her girlhood, her innocence, and it was hers. Oh my God.
Are we thinking that means what I think it means?
Yeah, I think so.
Is that what we're assuming?
I think you couldn't say it any clearer.
Because everyone's like, oh, the scarf. The scarf is symbolizing her innocence with Jake Gyllenhaal and All Too Well. That's what I've heard. That's a rumor I've heard a lot.
Right.
And then
I have heard that.
He's seeing all these lyrics, and it's like, well, John was first. John was before
Maybe
Jake.
it was just intimacy,
Yeah.
Not
she did say the scarf was a metaphor. She didn't say that was exactly it.
Sure.
Here, she's saying exactly, it was my girlhood.
And it was mine first. Yeah.
Which is just weird to talk about, but she puts it out there. So I feel weird for like even speculating, but we're breaking down a song. Yeah, but living for the thrill of hitting you where it hurts. Because that is nice. That is, I don't know. You want karma to come into play. You want bad people to not thrive, I guess. Maybe suffer. I was going to say suffer, and then I was like, no, let's be positive and say not thrive. But no, you want bad people to suffer. You don't want to see the bad people win,
Yeah. And hey, look, nobody's perfect in life ever. Everyone's done things to other people that hurt their feelings and things like that. I just really hope nobody ever says, I regret you all the time. I hope I just go through life. Hope people just don't regret ever having any association with me at all.
Yeah. I think you'll be okay.
And here she sings that over and over.
Yeah. Yeah. And gosh, and I'm just so mad. I'm so mad just in general on her behalf, on everyone's behalf, just like, and I do just thank her for having the strength to write the song and then release it, you know, because I mean, she wrote this a while ago, and then I wonder if she kind of just got it out of her system and then was like, okay, I'll probably just hang on to this. And then she was like, you know what, maybe other people need to hear this also. And yes, she is like a petty queen and she wants to, you know, hit him where it hurts. But I think this was a power move on her part. You know, like this is like ownership. This is getting the narrative. This is like, hey, all that stuff that happened years ago that y'all thought I was at fault. No, he was at fault. I was
being
traumatized.
a rebellious teenager.
Right.
That's what the articles were saying, that
like
that people told her not to. And she's like, no, I'm going to pursue this guy.
It's just so absurd. And it's so crazy too, because I mean, we follow Taylor obviously religiously, I guess you could say. And I mean, she's been in the media and she's been scrutinized for her relationships and everything over, you know, the last 15 years. But I also think that society can also learn a lot by the language that they used when talking about Taylor Swift specifically, and to like not do that again with like young female artists, young artists in general, just that are put in situations where we don't know all the details, where we don't know the history or things like that, and just how the language can really, really, really alter the way that person sees the way that situation happened, because that's exactly what happened with her, right? Like the language in Dear John is completely different than the language in Would've, Could've, Should've. And I do think the media is partly to blame. And I do give Taylor props on singing about such a tough subject and saying like, yes, it has been several years and I'm still dealing with this. Like, it's okay to say I'm still hurt by something. Like, it's okay to talk about issues that you might still have with your past. Like, I just think that's a very good thing, because most people would say, get rid of, why even talk about this? It's been so long. You'd be like, no, that was a traumatizing experience. I'm still sorting out these feelings.
And because she wasn't allowed to talk about it then. Because, I mean, I know I haven't called people out on stuff that I could have, that I very well could have, and it's just not worth it and not worth the time. But for her, it most definitely is. They need to be called out for their misbehavior, but everybody wasn't always allowed to speak out and say that something's wrong, or maybe even confide in the wrong person. And I was a young new businesswoman, and and I confessed to somebody who was older, and you would think like somebody who was older would tell you the right thing to do, but instead like everybody just, oh yeah, that doesn't matter, don't worry about anything, you know? Yeah. So I don't know. Gosh, that's such a heavy song. That's such I'm so glad that she shared that though. And you can relate to the song in many different ways, because there's a lot of things that you can regret, not just relationships or anything else. So I've seen a lot of people relating to songs in many different ways. I know I have whenever I'm screaming this in my car sometimes.
Taylor Swift just tweeted.
What'd she say?
Any guesses?
Sound my phone's been vibrating this whole time.
5 blue stars.
No, she said.
Oh, I thought that's what you were saying. I was like, why isn't anyone yelling? That was a guess.
No, this is very, very, very exciting for a lot of people that listen to our podcast. And by the time they get this episode, they will already know this news, but still exciting. Taylor Swift tweeted out saying, really thrilled to tell you this. Mexico, Argentina, and Brazil, we are bringing the Eras Tour to you this year. Sweet angel princess Sabrina Carpenter. Oh my God. Will be joining us for all of the shows. I have to go.
Was she at a concert? Was she at an Eras tour recently? Yeah.
She was. Yeah. I love.
That's amazing.
Oh my God, that's incredible.
When is it? Can you go on your honeymoon? This will be after that.
It says visit taylorswift.com/tour for more information, registrations, pre-sales, and on sales. Lots more international dates to come soon, promise. So she will be there in Latin America. It looks just like right after the U.S. leg. She'll be in Mexico at the end of August. And then she will be in Argentina and Brazil in November.
Sweet.
Awesome.
So that's really exciting. We have a lot of international listeners.
They've been waiting.
So we are so happy for you guys. Yes. This is very, very exciting. Make sure that you guys go to her website to find out all of the info about pre-sale and dates and things like that. Hopefully, if it's Ticketmaster, I don't know how it works with international ticket sales, but I really, really hope that you guys do not have to put up with a great war like we did to get tickets. And I hope you can all go. And I hope you guys are so excited.
Yeah, that's awesome. Really cool.
That is very exciting.
Yay!
Awesome. Well, guys, Please hit us up. Tell us what we may have missed on this episode. And join us next time because we are going to be breaking down the final song on the 3 a.m. edition. We're going to be breaking down Anna's favorite, Dear Reader.
Thanks for listening to 13, a Taylor Swift fan podcast. Subscribe for free and leave a positive review on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or Google Podcasts.